Proper foot care on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous roundtable, and there's no telling what meanness and madness they will get into, so stay tuned for that. Between now and then, lots of good information coming your way. We'll talk about health equity, a very important topic. We'll learn about palliative care, and we'll talk to a successful young entrepreneur, courtesy of the Winston-Salem Urban League, and much more. But first, we start out talking about foot care. Jay Paul, our director, we can meet our lovely guest. Dr. Christine Wright is a DPM, and what is DPM? I was going to ask you that. What does that stand for?
That's a doctor of podiatric medicine.
Say, it's better you say that to me because I would have messed that up.
We specialize in
foot and ankle care. But I call you a podiatrist, right? I can
That's
call you
correct.
A Cornerstone foot and ankle specialist, and Asheboro foot and ankle specialist. And I'm going to ask a stupid question. Does that mean you have a couple of offices, or are you just in Asheboro? Where is that?
We have 3 offices. My partners actually go to Thomasville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And then we're at Cornerstone Foot and Ankle Specialists in High Point.
And then Asheboro.
Part of the Cornerstone system.
That's
and then
great.
Asheboro. So
we'll throw
between
up
the 4 of us, there are 3 sites.
God, you're busy going back and forth.
So,
now, first remind us, seriously now, before we get going, what a podiatrist does, just so we're on the same page here.
Okay, a podiatrist is a physician who specializes in foot and ankle care. So anything foot or ankle.
And why is that so important, especially for people, because we have viewers, a lot of viewers who are diabetic. Why is that so important, especially for them?
Well, we know we have an increasing diabetic population. We're growing by leaps and bounds, unfortunately. And diabetics, there are a few things that they're always reminded to look at, one being their vision, their kidneys, and their feet. Unfortunately, a lot of diabetics can end up with foot wounds that could end up with amputation.
They just don't heal.
They don't heal well. Combination of the fact that a lot of them don't have good sensation, or they have something called peripheral neuropathy from the diabetes.
So is it safe to say if I'm diabetic that it would be pretty good if I come to you every 6 months or so and just...
Exactly. And if you're not coming to us, at least make sure your primary care physician is taking off your socks and shoes and looking at your feet.
I'm going to try to pronounce something. Once again, I'm going to get in trouble. That's why I asked her to pronounce DPM. Plantar fasciitis?
Yes.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Plantar fasciitis.
And it's commonly known as?
Heel spurs.
Heel spurs. Now, what does that mean? What is that actually? I mean, because I've heard that's very painful.
Right. Plantar fasciitis, getting away from the diabetics, can occur in anyone. It's usually in active people. People with plantar fasciitis usually have had the problem well before they come to see us, and they're having pain in their heel. It can be in one or both heels.
Right.
Usually the pain is the worst when they first get out of bed in the morning. Those first couple of steps, they'll complain of severe pain.
Blood's rushing down there. What do you do for that, though?
Well, first we determine that that's what it is, that there's not another cause of heel pain, that they don't have a stress fracture or cyst or something else. And then we treat them. Some patients are treated just by changing shoes, wearing better shoes. Some patients will put on an anti-inflammatory medicine if it's appropriate. Sometimes we'll give them shots of cortisone if that's appropriate.
Yeah, because I've heard it's
stretching. Sometimes splinting.
Oh yeah, get
sometimes
to the doctor,
supports in their shoes.
Yeah, if you have that problem, get to her office, because I've heard it's very painful. What's your opinion? I wanted to ask you this when I knew you were coming. What's your opinion on shoe inserts? My
opinion on shoe inserts? Well, I think nothing beats a good shoe. So before I ever recommend an insert,
I was beaten with a good shoe one time.
That we have the right shoe. And for our shoes, in particular the ones with plantar fasciitis, I'll recommend a good running shoe, a good supportive athletic shoe. So if we've got the right shoe, we'll consider a shoe insert for some problems. Plantar fasciitis is one that we'll consider a shoe insert for.
It's not necessarily a cure-all. I mean,
it is not a cure-all, and they don't necessarily have to be expensive. A lot of people will end up coming to us and they've paid a lot of money for an insert that's no better than what they probably could have gotten from Walmart.
That's a good, that's a good point. Always, when I meet somebody for the first time in medicine, I always like to ask them before time runs out why you went into medicine. What was it? Was there somebody in your family that was a doctor?
Okay, good question. It kind of goes back to the diabetic thing. I had 2 diabetic grandparents who actually lost limbs to diabetes.
Oh my!
And that was probably part of it. And then I had a mentor in college who. His best friend was a podiatrist in town, and he gave me some time with him, and that's how I got.
So you knew early on that you were headed this way.
Well, I thought I was going to be a dentist, but we went the other direction.
Well, I'm glad you went into this field, though. It's an important field, and it's an interesting story that you shared, but it's a very touching one. Here's some information on screen. CornerstoneHealth.com is the website. You can find out about lots of things, and of course, There's several offices you can visit for Cornerstone Foot and Ankle Specialist to go see Dr. Wright, especially if you're diabetic. Get over there and see her. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Come back and see us, will you?
I will.
We'll be right back after this.